Hello, this is video training. Sales and Inventory, Level 3, Chapter 2. What we'll be covering in this section is setting up alternate numbers. What are alternate numbers used for? Okay, there are three major reasons why you'd want to use an alternate number. First two are, and it's your different philosophies of business. For example, suppose you know you can buy a pot from the major manufacturer and it may cost you $10. You also know you can buy it from 3 or 4 alternate suppliers, and the price usually is less money than the manufacturer. So your philosophy of running your business is, you know what, I want to stock that pot under one number. So regardless of who I buy it from, I want to have one box where if I bought 3 from supplier A, 3 from supplier B, and 3 from supplier C, I really have 9 and they're all going in one box with the manufacturer's pot number on it. That's the way probably 95% of most of our customers will set up alternate numbers. So when they type in a number, whether it be the main manufacturer or whether it be an aftermarket company, what prints out on the invoice is the main manufacturer number. We call that the stocking number. So you stock it under one number, you sell it under that number, and you order it under various different numbers and various suppliers. So we call that method 1, which is having one stocking number regardless of who you're buying it from. You stock it under one pot, one number, that's where it gets sold. So every invoice that prints out has the manufacturer's pot number on it, regardless of whether you bought it from them or not. That's method 1. Method 2, which is a very small majority of our customers, where what their philosophy is look at, when a customer walks in the door, I don't just want to tell him that I have 10 of this pot. What I want to be able to say is I want it to come up and list on the screen. I have 3 from vendor A and they might be $5. I have 3 that I got from vendor B and they might be $6. I have 3 from vendor C and they might be $7. And so that they stock that number under every single person they buy it from. So that that pot number where you can buy it from the manufacturer as well as 3 different alternate suppliers, you'd be stocking that in 4 different boxes. And you're keeping your inventory pretty much in 4 different boxes. So that now you offer it to the customer and you type in, whether you type in the manufacturer pot number or whether you type in an aftermarket pot number, the computer will list on the screen in the sales program all your different suppliers, and you can relay that to the customer. I have 1 for $2, I have 1 for $6, and I have 3 for $8, whatever the case may be. That's not used too often. Third reason why you'd want to set up an alternate number is also for barcoding. For example, 2 different philosophies of doing barcoding, and each manufacturer is different. You know, if you're a Yamaha dealer, Yamaha, the pot number is the barcode. So they don't use a UCP code. When you scan the barcode in, the pot number and the barcode are exactly the same. Nothing needs to be done there. There's also other manufacturers, like Mercury, where they use a UCP code. Now in that case, we supply you with the UCP code, so it's all set up automatically. Whether you scan it in with the scanner, you're reading the barcode, or whether you type in the pot number, it's going to go out and get the pot. Now, what if there's a UCP code or a barcode for a manufacturer that we don't have the UCP code? We supply you with all manufacturers that have the UCP code in a computer file. We can supply that and give that to you. But if they don't have it in a computer file and you have to manually put it in, well, you would set up an alternate number for that, and I'll be showing you how to do that. So let's begin. Let's use method number 1 first, which means, look at, I stock this under one pot number and I want to put in all my different suppliers of who I can buy it from. So when it's time to order, I may change who I want to order that from. Maybe one day I want to order it from vendor A, maybe another day from vendor B. Or maybe I always want to order it for vendor B, but I always want it to be stocked as the manufacturer's pot number. So let's go into our main inventory control menu, and I'm going to go into inventory maintenance and reports. Now, the button that we're going to be going after is alternate number. That is in everywhere you can add pots. Let's just go into the inventory master file and look and see how it's used there. And then I'll show you all the different places where you can do pretty much the same thing. It's anywhere where you can manipulate or change a pot. I'm going into inventory master file first. And let's just type in a pot number here. Now let's suppose that I want to tell the computer that I can buy this pot from 2 or 3 other suppliers. Well, I can do so by clicking here, Statistics and Options, and there's always be a button that says Alternate Numbers. Now when I select Alternate Numbers, it basically tells me this is my stocking number. Like I said before, this number is where I'm going to be stocking it. And when I sell this, no matter who I buy it from, that's the pot number that's going to be on the invoice, that's the manufacturer that's going to be on the invoice, and that's the price I'm going to sell it for. If I wanted to add 2 or 3 more suppliers of who I can buy this pot from, I would click here, Add New Alternate Number. Now, whether I'm adding a new supplier or whether I'm adding a barcode that we do not have on file, if it was a barcode that you were adding, you'd scan that barcode in right now. The barcode number would automatically get loaded just as if you typed it, and then you'd select OK. What that will do, it'll tie that barcode number into that, so whenever you scan that barcode number in, it's going to go out and get BR-ADS. So it's pretty much the same exact thing. Now if I want to tie it into another manufacturer's pot number as a supplier, then I also can do the same thing. You would type in that manufacturer's pot number, and let's just type one in here. And I'm going to hit the Tab key, and I'm going to type in the manufacturer code of that alternate supplier. Now when I select OK or hitting the Enter key, it'll go out and it'll say, okay, I can also buy it from this supplier, and there's the pot number, and here's my price. Now the price is very much different because it's not really the same pot. But you can type in any pot number. Now it's getting that price from the catalog file. So if you have the catalog file for your aftermarket companies as well as your manufacturer company, every number that you type in, it'll go out there and get the current price. There's my cost, there's that manufacturer's retail. So if I wanted to add 4 or 5 more numbers, I can add as many as I wish. Now if I want to add a number that's not in the system at all, you can also do that. If I hit F4 and say, okay, I want to add this here, I want to call it new number. Whatever the vendor code is. Now notice there's no price. There is no manufacturer file, there is no catalog file, so we don't really know what the price is. Now the first time we order it from that supplier, we will know what the price is. So you can add as many numbers as you want. They're all tied in. So what's going to happen here, if I order this pot from this manufacturer, when I post that order is coming in, it's going to go out and put it in inventory under this number. So it's going to tell me that that's the pot number, but it's going to use the bin location of where this particular pot is right here. And so if I ordered 20 under that number, it's going to add 20 to that pot. That's my stocking number. Now you can also use this for creating what we call a quick reference number. Notice that P1. If you notice during training we type in P1 a lot. It's a quick reference number. If I know I'm going to be selling that pot a lot and I don't really feel like typing in BR-ADS all the time, I basically told the computer whenever I type in P1, what I want you to put on the invoice is BR-ADS. So anytime you just want to create what we call a quick reference number, you can hit this here. Maybe I want to say when I type in P8, I want to go out and get. So now if I type in P8 or P1, it's going to go out and print that on the invoice. So all these things are pointing to this particular pot. And your barcodes would be here also. Now if they're preloaded with the system, you'll see that when you hit alternate number, it will show you the barcode number that actually points to that particular pot. So it knows that the UCP code and that are basically one of the same. So if you're adding a UCP code, you do the exact same thing. Just scan it in when you get to this point and then hit OK. Okay, we don't want to do that. So that's how you add alternate numbers. Now, we've done this here in the maintenance program. Typically, that's probably not where you're going to do it. But let me show you all the different places where you can do that. For example, I can do it here in Add Inventory, which is where you've been. And we type in a pot. Now, if I type in P8, it goes out and gets BR80S, like I told it to. There's a button here that says I want to add some more alternate numbers. Here's all my numbers. I can add more or delete them. It's also in manual post orders. It's in anywhere you can order if we go into the ordering system. And when we're creating orders, we can add alternate numbers. For example, if I'm doing a special order and I want to send my order in, here's my Yamaha order and I want to send it in. And let's just take a look at this order here. Maybe I'm going to call my manufacturer up. I'm going to be on the phone, and I'm going to just read it right from the screen here. And I may say, okay, here's the order that I want to order. And it's all done. Let me call up and place the order. So now I'm calling up, I'm placing the order. And maybe I'm looking at this part right here. These are some alternate suppliers, other people I can get it from. And maybe the manufacturer says, hey, they're back ordered. It's going to be 3 weeks. And maybe I know I can get it someplace else. Now, if they're here, I can just click on there and it'll automatically take it out of this order and put it to this other manufacturer. Or there's a button here called Alternate Maintenance. And I have the exact same capability. I can go in there and add a complete other manufacturer and pot number and then select that I want to order it from them. Now it'll be tied to this pot forever. And there's a way you can make any one of these numbers your preferred vendoring order. Now, the other thing you can do is click right here. If you want to see who you've been ordering this pot from, click Orders. You know, if I've ordered this pot, it'll tell me every time I ordered it and who the vendor was I ordered it from. I may be seeing, well, looks like I ordered from all of them, or a little bit here, a little bit here, but it'll tell you exactly who you've been ordering it from and the last price you paid when you ordered it. So this alternate number button is in anywhere where you can manipulate pots, whether it be creating an order, which is right here. I'm going to say no. Whether it be posting an order coming in. There again, we can pick any of these orders. If I want to, there again, you know, you have the exact same capability. I can select here, and go right into here and add alternate numbers. So you can add alternate numbers anywhere in the system where you see alternate numbers. Okay. Well, that's option number one. That's basically setting up two things. If you want to put barcodes, that the UCP code is obviously different from the pot number, and it's not one that we have a file for. Definitely, if you're barcoding pots and it's not coming up with the correct pot number, call us first to make sure we do not have the barcode. We may have the barcode for that manufacturer. We do not ship the barcode file with every order. It only gets shipped with orders where people added the barcode option. So first verify and check to see if we do have that barcode file. If we do, no sense going to all that extra work. If we don't, and the manufacturer does just not supply it, then you can manually go in and tie it in anytime you want. Now the next method is, what if I don't want to do it that way? That's probably the preferred way to do it. That's probably the way 95 to 98% of our customers do it. But suppose I fall into that 2% category. When my customer walks in, I want to be able to say, hey, look it, I have 2 that I bought from the main manufacturer. They're $100. I have 3 that I bought from this aftermarket company. They're $75. I have a company B that they're $50. I have company C where they're $25. Which ones do you want? So you're basically, your inventory is obviously a lot bigger. You're going to be tying up a lot more money because you're going to be stocking the exact same pots under different numbers. So obviously you're making a decision to say, I don't care, I'm going to be incurring more inventory costs, but I want to give that customer the flexibility of saying, which one do you want? You want the manufacturers, or do you want an aftermarket company? If that's the way you want to do it, then this is the way you'd want to set it up. You'd go into Inventory Maintenance and Reports. You'd go into Inventory Master File. Now, like I said before, you can get to the screen from a lot of different places. You would type in the part that you want to tie in. Let's just look up any part we want here. And I'll pick a Yamaha part. Let's just look at Yamaha, and we'll just pick this battery here. Now, maybe I can buy this battery from Yamaha, or I can buy it from 5 or 6 other suppliers. Well, in this case, I am going to, the same method as what we did is tying this pot into a kit. But instead of tying it into a kit, I am going to list all the other pot numbers that I can buy this from. So I'm literally creating a kit so that whenever we type in this pot number, it'll come up and show me all the different manufacturers and show me how much I have and what the price is for each one. Because using this method, I'm stocking that exact same pot under more than one number. Same method we did is adding kits. We're basically just saying, look, this is not a kit. I'm just showing you all the different pot numbers that are literally the exact same thing. And this is exactly the same as what we just covered in the first part of Chapter 2. You type in any pot number you want, and all that's going to happen is you're basically saying, so, and there again, these pot numbers would all be batteries, and they'd just be the exact same battery from your 4 or 5 different manufacturers. You'd put the pot number of the battery. Like if I want to go here and I'm just going to say, okay, let me look at all my batteries here. And I don't have a lot of batteries in stock, so let's go in my manufacturer file and we can do the same thing here. And so, you know, whether you have it in inventory, whether you don't, you know, you would put in all the pot numbers that point to that exact same battery. So now what would happen is when you type in that pot number, it'll come up just like a kit that we just went over, and it will show you how much you have for each single pot number, how much they cost. Now there again, this method isn't used too often. It's only used for the manufacturers that really want to present that to the customers, and they stock the exact same pot under multiple numbers. So if you do stock the exact same pot under multiple numbers, this is pretty much what you want to do. Go into your main supplier number, key in all the different alternate suppliers, their vendor codes, just put a 1 here. So now when you type in that pot number in the sales program, it's going to present it to you just like a kit. So now you'll be able to tell the customer, okay, I can give you the exact same pot from 4 different manufacturers. Depending on which one you want to pick, it's going to be a different price. Okay. Obviously, when you hit F4, you now add that. And now it codes it automatically so that whenever you type in that pot number, that kit will come up. It's exactly the same as creating a kit, which is in our prior session. Okay. Now, when you do have alternate numbers in, we have reports that you can also run. You know, when your alternate number reports where you can actually list order files, just multiple cross-references. You can list it for a particular vendor and go in and list all the alternate numbers for that particular vendor. You know, so it's going to tell me all my different pots, which ones I have alternate numbers for and supply. So there's many reports that you can set up. But there again, once you set your alternate numbers, you know, you can basically then order that from any single manufacturer. When you're posting your orders coming in, keep in mind if it's set up as an alternate, if you're posting that order coming in, it is going to put it in the box. And it's going to assume that you're putting that pot away in the manufacturer's pot number. And when you print your bin location report, it's going to give you the bin location and the pot number. It's going to say this pot belongs in BR80S's box. And here's where that box is located. Because you're ordering it maybe from a different supplier, but you're going to be stocking it in one place. Obviously, that's the way most dealers do it. You're not double stocking pots. You're basically having one pot number, and in that box there might have been pots that you bought from various different suppliers. It really doesn't matter. They're all the exact same thing. So you need to pick and choose the method that you want. How you set it up is up to you. The system is very, very flexible. However you run your business, you can set the system up accordingly. Okay. That concludes setting up alternate numbers. Next, we'll move on to pricing matrix.